business.
Was one of the organizations that you were concerned about the American Turkish Council?
Yes.
Were there others?
Yes.
Can you identify them, please?
Certain Turkish diplomatic community in Washington, D.C. and other locations, and other Turkish cultural and business-related associations and lobbying groups with various chapters in various cities and states in the United States.
Right. Without asking you specifically who the targets were at this point, when you hear the term, have you ever heard the term Turkish lobby?
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Can you be more specific? It means many things to me.
I mean, just what comes to mind again, I came into this a couple of days ago. I've seen the term Turkish lobby, see people referring to it. If someone uses that term, can you tell us either generally or specifically what it means to you?
Correct. It means two sets of things. One set is the overt Turkish lobby, that is classic lobbying for business interests, governmental relationship interests, commerce, etc. And the other category is the covert activities and operations by the lobby that many of which may not be legal.
And when we talk about the overt Turkish lobby, can you identify the organizations you're thinking of there?
There are so many. American Turkish Council is the primary organization, which directly works with the diplomatic community in the United States, Turkish diplomatic community, that is. ATAA, with another umbrella, under which there are various locations and chapters, such as ATA Chicago, ATA Paterson, New Jersey, ATA DC, and also some that are identified as cultural, such as TAKA, Turkish American Cultural Association. There are hundreds of small chapters, and I don't know some of these. But the main ones would be American Turkish Council, ATAA, ATA and its various chapters throughout the country in the United States, TAKA, Turkish American Business Association is another primary one.
About the ATA, is that the Assembly of Turkish America Associations?
I believe that's what it is.
Have you heard of the Turkish Coalition of America?
Just through some cursory reading recently.
Okay. And familiar with an organization called the Turkish American Legal Defense Fund?
I don't recall.
Okay. Have you ever met Mr. Fine before, who's present here today?
I haven't met him personally, no.
Okay. You aware of the fact that he's associated with the Turkish American Legal Defense Fund?
I didn't know that.
Okay. The organizations you identified just now were, I think you identified as, the ones you identified, not the ones I asked you about, but the ones you identified, I think you were listing as part of the overt Turkish lobby, correct?
Okay, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was asking about what is meant by the Turkish lobby, and you said that there are overt forms of the Turkish lobby and there are covert forms. The organizations we were talking about, are they part of the overt Turkish lobby, if you will?
They are part of both, overt and covert.
Okay. So when you talk about the covert Turkish lobby, what are you referring to there?
Activities that would involve trying to obtain very sensitive, classified, highly classified U.S. intelligence information, weapons technology information, classified congressional records, recruiting key U.S. individuals with access to highly sensitive information, blackmailing, bribery. These are some of the ones that just pops, and there are many others that I may be able to think of.
Well, by way of example, I think you indicated that Ms. Dickerson, by the way, is she ever referred to as Jan Dickerson?
Correct. That's how she went at the FBI, and as far as I know, elsewhere she used her middle name in the United States, Jan Dickerson.
Now, I read in some of the reports about an incident where Ms. Dickerson showed up at your home unexpectedly on Sunday.
Correct.
And can you tell us what happened when she arrived there?
Sure. She came to my house with her husband, who at the time was Major Douglas Dickerson. And he identified himself first as the officer for Air Force, but later said that his real task was operations involving weapons procurements by countries in Central Asia and Turkey, and that he directly worked with Douglas Spies and Paul Wolfowitz. At the time, this would be 2001 December.
Right. And they came to your home on Sunday morning?
Yes, social business, they said.
And during that discussion, during that visit, did you come to believe that Ms. Dickerson was recruiting you?
Yes, I did.
For what?
They wanted me to join the American-Turkish Council, and they told me that I would be provided with many benefits, both monetary but also prestigious benefits, if I were to enroll with them.
And did you know at the time that the American-Turkish Council was one of the counterintelligence targets?
Absolutely, yes.
And did you believe Ms. Dickerson knew that as well?
Yes, and the fact because her husband associated with American-Turkish Council and she worked for them.
And did you report this effort to recruit you to your superiors?
Immediately. The next day, I reported it in writing to my direct administrative supervisor, and a few days later to my agent, who was my supervisory agent, but also again in writing to the FBI's Personnel Security Office, because I was obligated for my top secret clearance to report recruitment attempts.
Okay. Now, why, if you can tell me, why would the American-Turkish Council be a counterintelligence target?
Certain individuals from that organization, American-Turkish Council, certain individuals were involved with other individuals outside American-Turkish Council, which includes diplomatic community and Turkish diplomatic community, and other sub-chapter organizations. I say sub-chapter because even though it's not known, ATA is not formally known as American-Turkish Council's sub-chapter, but they do a lot of activities through ATA in various cities and states in the United States. And those individuals were involved in operations that were counterintelligence related, and not if they were against the United States interest and security.
Okay. Was there, make sure I have this correct, was there a particular individual at the American-Turkish Council who had connections to the Turkish embassy in Washington at that time?
There were several people there.
And again, just because I don't know, to your knowledge, Was the American Turkish Council an organization that was supported by the Turkish government?
I don't know directly, but indirectly, yes.